All right, welcome Rich Lennon to the show. Welcome.
Yay! Thank you, Tracy.
All right, Rich, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So for our audience, tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Let's see. I am a father.
Yes.
I'm a husband. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm a recovering real estate investor. I'm a private money lender, and now I'm a podcast host. So
I love it.
Seems like a lot.
It is a lot. No, you do a lot, and we're going to try to cram it into this 15 minutes time that we have. So you talk a lot about helping people grow their wealth faster and more securely. What does that look like?
I think people need to focus and look at what their wealth is. They need to track it all the time. Like at least once a month, once a week is probably better, where you track your wealth and then you figure out how fast is your wealth growing. And then you learn the things that you can do to make minor adjustments so that your wealth grows faster. And when you compound that over time, it makes a dramatic difference. Huge difference.
That's awesome. Okay, so when I first heard you speak, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I don't have wealth. I'm not wealthy.
It's hard to build wealth.
It's hard to build wealth, right? And I heard you speak at Nicole Reed's Mastermind. That's when I first heard you speak.
All right.
And it was just a lot. It was a lot of information, really good information, but so much to where I was like kind of lost. I know.
Sometimes I talk a lot.
but it was really good. So do you focus? Do you help people who are trying to get there, or do you kind of focus on people that are already wealthy and trying to build more wealth?
It's really both. I mean, I was fortunate enough to get into real estate, which I think is a great vehicle for building wealth.
Yeah.
But I think it's getting people to change their mindset. And the biggest one to change that I would mention to the group is taxes are the biggest thing in life holding you back.
Oh, Lord.
And income taxes specifically.
We're going to talk about that.
And so I just want to do it real quick. If I could give one thing to your audience, like listen to this. All right, how much money do you think you have if you take a penny and you flip the penny, and day 2, you did it every day for 30 days. Day 2, you have 2 pennies. Day 3, you have 4 pennies, 8 pennies, 16. You did 30 days. How much money do you think you have at the end of 30 days?
You're going to ask me now?
Yeah, right on the spot.
I don't.
It's $10 million plus dollars. You take that penny, you flip it. Right, that one penny, you flip it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tax it. And so I'm going to take that penny, I'm going to flip it, so 1 penny goes to 2 penny, but I'm going to tax you 35% on your gains, right? And how long is your career? General career is like 30 years, right? And so if you get taxed at the end of the year, that 35%, so at the end, every day, we double it. How much money do you think we get with taxes at the end of 30 days?
A lot. I'm going to use
like $64,000.
Okay, I'm just going to be transparent. I'm going to use myself as an example. I owe currently the IRS $44,000.
Yeah.
$44,000.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there. That's what I owe right now. Yeah. And I cannot write that check. I'm not going to put me on a payment plan because I can't do it, and I'm trying to find a way to, because I'm a real estate investor. Okay. We do about 5 properties a year. Okay. I'm trying to find a way to pay less taxes. How do we do that?
You buy and hold real estate. That's a great way to do it. And so the government writes the tax code. Everybody's like, okay, they write the tax code for the rich. That's not true. The rich just follow the tax code. It's like it works the other way. The government writes laws and gives tax benefits to the industries that they don't want to run, right? They don't want to run clean energy, so they give a lot of tax credits for clean energy. They don't want to run housing in America. That would be terrible. We'd be like living block cement boxes, right? And so what they do is they incentivize us with the tax code, and you have to understand the tax code. And then that's really the key that unlocks everything. And there are a lot of industries that can do it. I just happen to be a pretty good one at real estate. And you buy it and you hold it, and then you get approximately 30% of the value of that property is a write-off in year 1. It's cost segregation, bonus depreciation.
Okay. We're going to have lunch again, so you can teach me about that.
I know, that's a lot. I know we have a short time, too.
It's a lot. So yesterday on your podcast, you talked about the BRRRR method, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to us about that.
Okay, that is by far the best wealth building model that I've used personally.
Okay.
And so the idea is that you buy a house at a discount, and that industry certainly exists. Distressed property likely needs some work. Then you're going to buy it at a discount, then you're going to renovate it, and then you're going to rent it, and then you're going to refinance it and get all your money back, and then you're going to repeat it and do it again. And that's the BRRRR. Buy it, renovate it, rent it, refinance it, and repeat the process.
So you're not you're not flipping this is not a flip.
No,
you're not flipping at all.
You're not going to flip it. You're going to go to a bank, and the bank is going to give you long-term money on that house, likely a 20-year note or something like that. And you, by buying it at the discount, it allows it so that you can not have any money in the deal at the end. You have to borrow the money up front, short-term money, do the construction, do the project.
Short-term money, you mean private investors?
Private investors,
Okay.
right? Private money lenders. And then you go and you do the project, and then you go to an institution, right? And then they finance it for 20 years or 30 years, just kind of depending on what you can get.
Okay.
But the key would be you get all your money back. And so you can do it again and again and again. And so it's a way to build wealth without having money in the deal. That's one great strategy. But also it coincides with that idea of the tax advantage of doing it.
Okay. So what are you doing with the money? Like you saying that you refinance it and you actually get the money back. Are you taking that money to just buy another property
That's
and
right.
then just doing it?
And and so that's the repeat model.
And so that's where the tax break comes in at because
Yes.
you're not.
But each one of those houses could like an average house for a rental in Richmond is like $200,000. That's about right. But that would mean that you get to take every time you do that, you get to take a $60,000 paper loss that year. So let's say that you are you're making $300,000 a year, but you buy 5 houses, and on paper you lose $300,000 a year. How much taxes do you owe? Income tax do you owe? By the way, you pay a lot of other taxes. So this isn't like, okay, don't pay taxes, because we have to pay our taxes.
Right.
But the government incentivizes us to get rid of the income tax. You do have to be a real estate professional. You have to have that status. But, that's another discussion.
That is another discussion for sure. All right, let's talk about your podcast.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Tell us what was your goal when you started this?
So, I got lucky in life. I really did. I got lucky. I met some cool people along the way. And I think I was smart enough to sit down and listen.
I think you were.
And, they played the game of money really well. And I kind of sat back and I realized, okay, I'm a college educated person. I did well in school, but no one ever taught me anything about money.
Right.
Like not even to do a checkbook.
Yeah.
And so, but money is really complicated. And so, anyway, that group gave me a lot and I've benefited from that. And they just kind of gave it away. And so that's my podcast. I just try it's growing the money.
Yeah.
And you could start with no money or negative money or whatever, but you have to have the strategies. How am I going to grow that net worth and how am I going to monitor it over time?
Yeah.
That's how you be successful.
Right. And to a lot of people who think that you have to have all of this money sitting in the bank in order to start investing in real estate. And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
Because you can use private money lenders and things like that for down payments and then kind of do the same thing. Now, is that something that Rich Lennon does? Do you do private money lending?
I do. I love to lend money. Lending money is great. I love it as a business model.
Yeah.
I lend to people who do what I used to do. Okay. So they're going to do the BRRRR model or they're going to fix and flip a property. And so I lend them that short-term money for the 6 months to allow them to do the project. So they do the project either to flip it and sell it and then the project's over, or the project is I give it to them and then they do the renovations and put the renter in there. Then they go to a bank and then they refinance it and I get my money back.
Okay.
And that, for me, that's much better. It's a lot less work than when I was out doing the projects.
Yeah. Let's talk about risk. Because I know that when my husband and I first started this, we just didn't know half of we didn't know what we know now.
Yeah.
And so the risk was great. And I spent a lot of days crying, literally, because
risk is real.
Risk is so real.
Risk is real.
How do you minimize your risk? You're a new investor and you are starting out. What advice can you give to a new investor that can minimize that risk?
Well,
the risk is going to be there, but how can they minimize it?
I think they have to understand it.
Okay.
I think they have to understand the risk. And what I mean by that is that they need to be fully informed on what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people get in trouble because they rely on the professionals to give them advice. And
What do you mean? Okay.
like an attorney to give you advice, or a CPA to give you advice, or sometimes a real estate agent to give you that advice, another investor to give you the advice. But you have to go and do that research yourself and figure it out. And that's super important. And you have to know what percentage risk you're willing to take. And so, like, if you want 4% money, you can put that in the stock market and have it managed for you, and over time you'll always earn 4%. But if you want a higher percentage rate of return, you have to take responsibility for it.
Yeah, the risk is real. We've had, we've been very lucky. We've never taken a loss, knock on wood. Never taken a loss.
Okay, if you have never taken a loss, then that's very impressive. That's like, I would make the argument that you're not being risky enough.
What?
Losing is part of the game.
We've never taken a loss. Now, we've had a property where we only made $7,000, but it still wasn't a loss.
I know, but I got you. But like,
it wasn't a loss.
Are you playing to win, or are you playing not to lose?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not suggesting you go out and be like, let's lose some money. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, though, that risk does mean that sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But if you are competent enough, if you are educated enough, and you can get a higher return, and that matters over time.
Yeah.
So how many deals did you turn down because you were afraid of the risk?
I turned down deals because I was afraid.
But let's say you turned down 10 deals that would have made you 25 grand a pop because you were afraid of the risk, and you would have taken one deal that gave you a $50,000 loss.
See, we go
still
after
making 200
the one.
grand.
Yeah, I know, and that's what we need to change.
Well, you have to have that
Yeah.
nest egg a little bit. You can't do it on your first one.
Right.
But as you gain that experience, you should become risky.
Okay. So I will tell you that you are definitely one of my social media mentors, for sure.
Okay, I appreciate
which
that.
is the reason why I reached out to you, because again, we met at a seminar that we talked to. That you spoke at. I reached out to Rich, and I will encourage anyone to do this. It doesn't have to be Rich, but if you have someone on social media that you follow, call them and ask them to lunch. I asked Rich to go to lunch. I was like, listen, I don't need to pick your brain.
Yeah.
I need to can I buy you lunch? And you said yes. I was excited. I was like, oh my God, he's having lunch with me. That is great. And so you told me about this to hold a property.
Yes.
You did. And you said you're flipping, you need to start holding the property. And I am happy to report that we are closing on our first whole property on September 4th because of that meeting that we had.
Oh, very nice.
I took notes and I listened, and it was just amazing. So,
that's awesome. So you're closing on it in September.
September 4th.
And you're gonna put a renter in there.
I'm gonna actually do like a short-term.
Okay, you're gonna go with the short-term model.
Yes,
okay.
because of the way that the house is. It's kind of like has a separate entrance, and so I think it's a 5-bedroom, so 3 beds down, private entrance, 2 beds up. So I think we could do something like that so it can cash flow.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
I know. So I just wanted to have you on the show and just say thank you. Listen, if you have someone that, reach out to them. And one of the things that I really love about you, Rich, is that you don't mind sharing the information.
Yeah.
You have the information and you don't mind sharing it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I really do appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so how can people reach you? Like, I know your podcast.
The easiest way is richlennon.com.
richlennon.com.
And I've got it's called a Smarter Wealth Blueprint. Like, you can just download it. It's totally free, of course. And after, if you look at that and you're like, I want to have a conversation with Rich, there's a green button, you just book it. Yeah, but I would throw out there, though, that I think in 2025, I'll likely spend $70,000 or so on mentors and educators. And so there is some value in listening from people who have traveled the path. But I don't know, I think sometimes it's better than college these days. Cheaper.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely have a coach, but I've also had people come to me and that just got scammed.
Yeah.
They and they're out there. So I would say do your homework.
You absolutely should.
Yeah, definitely do your homework and log on, and you guys please listen to me. You will learn so much. subscribe to his podcast. Like,
Growing the money.
Huh?
Growing the money.
Growing the money. He will help you to grow your money. And Rich, again, thank you so much for your time today.
Tracy, I had a really great time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, guys.